If you want it, you got to be willing to work for it. Today, too many people are of the impression that if they want it, just wanting something is enough to deserve to get it. Today I was listening on Blinkist to David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. And one thing about David Goggins that you're always going to hear from him is that you have to work hard to get the things that you really want. That is a message that, let's be honest, doesn't really resonate with people today. People are not willing to put in the effort to get what they want. So many people look for shortcuts. So many people look for a workaround. So many people believe they're entitled to have what they want without putting in the work to get it. In Goggins' book, he talks about the family that he was raised in and the abuse that he went through. He talks about his difficulties in school with learning to read and everything he faced there. He talked about that ultimately he wanted to join the Air Force, and through the workouts and the stuff was so difficult that he allowed his perceived medical condition to be his excuse to get out of the armed services. Goggins experienced many things that you and I will never experience. And he could have used all of those things as excuses. But he was talking about in his dead-end job, working the midnight shift, he gets home, he's way overweight, and he sees this commercial about becoming a Navy SEAL. Long story short, he applies, and he's got to lose in 3 months over 100 pounds to be able to join the training for the Navy SEALs. He loses 100 pounds or more in 3 months, and he goes through and ultimately becomes a Navy SEAL. It's pretty incredible. He put in the hard work. And he says when he speaks today, because not only is he a former Navy SEAL, his next passion that he pursued was ultra marathon running these races of 100 miles or more. And through all of that, he's had the opportunity to be on platforms around the world to share his message about putting in the hard work. And one of the things that he talks about is that when he shares this challenge to work hard, the excuses that he hears often are, I just can't take time away from my family, or I can't take time away from work to put in the hard work to pursue the person that I want to be. And he says, you know what? That is just an excuse that we need to overcome. And there's a phrase that I think is a great takeaway for you and me today. He says the way in which we can really work hard, his phrase is this, is you have to win the morning. And what he talks about there is you've got to win the morning, is that you got to get up early and you got to put the work in while you've got time. He gets up at 4 in the morning and he does some incredible workouts, and he does all this stuff, and he's ready to go to work and do what he needs to do during the day. Now, I'm not saying from this book you need to get up at 4 every morning, but I am saying that we know what, every day we have to win the battle to be willing to put in the hard work to get what we want. I always say the way you hike the mountain is you do it one step at a time. There has not been one mountain I've climbed that didn't demand hard work. Every step to the top is always difficult, but what I have found is every step is ultimately worth it. So I challenge you today, stop making excuses and win the morning and get out there and hike down your mountains. Hike on, my friends.